Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. Please silence your cell phones and give a warm welcome to our honored guests, our very own American veterans. Good morning. I'm Cadet Captain Lucas Reinhardt, and it is my honor, on behalf of the Lorain City Schools, Mrs. Ray Bastock, and the cadets of the Titan Battalion, to welcome you here this morning. Today is the 11th day of the 11th month, Veterans Day. The Titan Battalion, along with the Lorain County Veterans Service Organizations, have put together this ceremony to commemorate and celebrate America's veterans. Please stand as we honor our American freedoms and democracy as the Lorain High School Titan Battalion Color Guard posts the colors and the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner by the Lorain High School's Wind Ensemble. Please remain standing.
Sergeant Major, present and post the colors.
Battalion, attention. Color Guard, present and post the colors. Battalion, present arms. Battalion, Hooter, Arms.
Halt! Color. Ready? One. Ready? Two. Ready? Three. Forward. Mark. Color. Halt.
Please remain standing for the invocation presented by Cadet Major David LeBoy, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Ray Kershaw, the Veteran of the Year.
Today we are here to honor those who have served our country and given their lives so that they may stand here and still live in freedom. We need to be constantly reminded of our gifts of freedom and of those who gave all to make sure future generations will continue to know life in a free, democratic society. Remembering those who have passed is only half of the task that is before us today. We must also carry their love, honor, and duty forward to the future generations that will pass. Our children must know who they were, what they did, and why they did it. To do anything less will be a disservice to their sacrifice and their memories. Those that are gone created a clear pathway for us to continue on. We must never waver from that path of freedom and democracy. Take their memories, dreams, and walk forward, shouldering the cause of freedom, carrying it high and proud as they did. And now you must walk forward for them and for our children.
Good morning. It is my honor to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. The reason that we ask you to put your hand over your heart before we do the pledge to the flag is in respect for all those that have come before us, fought and died, and gave us the reason that we're able to do this today. We'd like to honor the veterans that are serving. There's 1,300,000 active duty soldiers in this country right now and around the world to preserve your freedom, and 800,000 that are reserves. We'd also like to remind you that the pledge of the flag is a pledge to your country. And one of the main reasons that we have the freedom we do is the freedom to vote. So please, that is what keeps our country free. I would like to have the military and the veterans salute during the pledge. Everyone else to please place their hand over their heart. By the numbers, 1, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and freedom for all. Thank you. 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, the Lorain High School Army Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps Honor Guard under the command of Cadet First Sergeant Morales Gote Cotto, will now present the prisoner of war missing in action ceremony. The other members of the Honor Guard are Cadet Captain Kaya Tidmore, Cadet Charlisa Mason, Cadet Jada McCall, Cadet Michelle Chavez, and I am Cadet Second Lieutenant Alasia Vasquez. It is an honor and privilege to introduce and acknowledge this table. This table represents and pays tribute to all of the prisoners of war missing in action and killed in action, from American involvement in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, and more. Many of you have looked at this table and wondered. Let me explain. This table, set for 5, symbolizes the frailty of the prisoners against their oppressors. Remember, the tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their country's call to arms. Remember, the single candle displayed in the center of the table, symbolic of the families and loved ones who kept the faith, waiting for the return of those so dear to them. Remember, the yellow ribbon tied so prominently on the candle symbolizes our continued uncertainty and hope for the return and determination to account for them. Countless bear witness and demand for a proper accounting of our missing. Remember, the lemon on the bread plate reminds us of their bitter fate. Remember, there is salt on the bread plate, symbolic of the tears of the families as they still wait for their loved ones to return. Remember, the glasses are inverted. They cannot toast with us tonight. Remember, the chairs are empty. They are not here. Remember, all of you who have served with them and called them brothers and sisters who depended upon their might and aid and relied upon them, remember them, for surely they have not forgotten you.
The story must be told of valor and bold, so let them write it down in history. A young soldier cries for his comrades who've died, fighting for a cause that they believe. Nobody's seen or heard a sound. There was no parade for them downtown. We found the last patrol standing by the wall of fallen heroes. Tell their mothers that their sons are marching in the sky. Tell them that they're soldiers of the cloud. Please tell them, please tell them so they know. Tell them that they're soldiers of the cloud. The wounds will never heal, and the feelings that they feel left a scar for all the world to see. But the eagle always flies for the men who fought and died, and it flies for all eternity. But nobody's seen or heard a sound. There was no parade for them downtown. We found the last patrol standing by the wall of fallen heroes. Tell their fathers that their sons are marching in the sky. Tell them that they're soldiers of the cloud. Please tell them, please tell them so they know. Tell them that they're soldiers of the cloud. Standing by the wall of fallen heroes. Tell their parents that their sons are marching in the sky. Tell them that they're soldiers of the cloud. Please tell them, please tell them so they know. Tell them that they're soldiers of the cloud.
Ready, cut. Tight, pace. Forward, march.
In keeping with tradition, at the 11th minute of the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, we will now have our bell toll, as they do in churches across Europe at this time, to recall the ending of the horror of the First World War. The tolling of the bells is a traditional honor and remembrance of the 116,516 Americans who died and over 200,000 who were wounded in the Great War. It is now my honor to introduce Commander Dunphy, the commander of American Legion, Post Number 30.
Yeah, I was told I got a limited amount of time, so let me go ahead and get things started. First of all, I want to thank all my fellow veterans and our future veterans sitting there that are on active duty now. Someday you'll be standing up here as a veteran. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and things will work out good. Anyhow, the American Legion was chartered 100 years ago by Congress. This is a holiday that is directly affected by us, because I mean that's how the American Legion was founded, and then was when they after World War I, the war that ended all wars, and we now know that obviously that wasn't true. Okay, now the thing about the American Legion, we're a service-oriented veterans organization. We have programs for schools. Part of our charter is to help our fellow veterans. You know, saying it's like because I like to look at it that, yeah, I'm retired from the military, but now I serve my community and my fellow veterans instead of my nation and my fellow soldiers. Okay, so I'll let you go with this thought, and I won't pontificate. Is let's look at our fellow veterans, not just today, but tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, not just make this like a hey, thanks for your service type thing. You know, saying and drive on from there. Okay, but anyhow, today we're also here to recognize one of our long-term members of the American Legion. Actually, he's still continuing with his time as far as our organization goes, and he's been a member of the American Legion almost as long as I've been alive. So we got a couple guys like that. Actually, I came with another one. Anyhow, we're a nonprofit organization, and actually we're the largest veterans organization in the country right now, as far as with the, you know, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the AMVETS, the American veterans, you know, the DAV, you know, Disabled American Veterans, you know, there's all kinds of organizations out there, and if you really want to help veterans, check in with various organizations. I'm sure, you know, we could always use help with anything, especially keep an eye on our fellow veterans, okay? But anyhow, we're here to recognize someone that gave some selfless service for 43 years, 37 of it was as our post adjutant. And trust me, I know from experience that that's one of the most demanding jobs in the post. You know, it's one of our 2 or 3 key positions that really got to have somebody on top of things to make us function. Because there are things that obligations and stuff we have to go ahead and meet, and time frames and all that stuff, as far as keeping our doors open and keeping things running smoothly. If I could get Jody Finelson up here, and then we're here to recognize her dad, Jim, but obviously he's not here because of his health issues. It's like he's still in there, he's still hanging in the fight, but you know, over the last year he's gotten more health issues that's popped up. So my thing is though, we're just going to go ahead and present her with the plaque to go ahead and hang on the wall for Jim. And then Jim's a unique person. He's one of those gruff old guys. I say that lightly because I'm becoming an old guy myself. That's why I got to start wearing these again. So anyhow, I'm going to read this plaque to you, and then I'll pass off the podium. American Legion Post 30 Legion Hero Award in recognition of over four decades of faithful and dedicated allegiance to the ideals of the American Legion. Your commitment to Post 30 in Lorain County Veterans Community in the positions of Post Commander and Adjutant for 37 years is greatly appreciated. Your record of consistent loyalty, outstanding contributions, and dedication to our mission has set the example for your peers. This acknowledgement is given under the hand of the Post Commander Nelson Dunphy, and grateful appreciation to Jim Finelson, Lorain, Ohio, November 11, 2019, and he was also a long-term member of our Honor Guard. And you know, I don't know. I'm lost for words when I run into my fellow veterans like this. Thank you. And I guess on that note, I'll hand it off to Tim and come visit us, American Legion. You know, so we can always come on back. You know, saying because our doors are still open and we're making things happen. You guys be safe. Thank you.
Good morning. As a member of the Veteran Council, I have the privilege of partnering with leaders from over a dozen veteran service and veteran supporting organizations. The insight and perspective that these heroes share with me as we collaborate to help meet the needs of our veteran community is humbling and has helped me to continue to develop as a leader. Every one of our members deserves to be acknowledged for their efforts, and annually we recognize one individual that has stood out due to their exemplary service. This year's recipient has held numerous local and national officer positions with the Italian American veterans, including several terms as commander of Post 1. He served as president of the Veterans Council for 2 terms, is credited as one of the innovators that developed our Veteran of the Year nomination process, and was elected by his peers as Veteran of the Year. Please join me in celebrating the many years of outstanding service of Mr. Gino Minacci. It says, Outstanding Service Award in recognition of your diligent work and passionate support of our veteran community. We are truly grateful of your service in the positions of Post 1 Junior Vice Commander, Senior Vice Commander, Trustee, and Commander, as well as Veterans Council Chaplain and 2006 Veteran of the Year. Your dedication and sincere efforts have positively impacted our community and helped develop new leaders. Thank you.
Join me one more time for Gino Minacci. Thank you, Gino. Well, good morning. My name is Mike Kacher. I am the commander of AMVETS Post 47 here in Lorain, as well as the secretary of the Lorain Veterans Council. I have the privilege this morning to present the Mission Ready Award. The Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps program is designed to teach high school students the value of citizenship, leadership, service to community, personal responsibility, and sense of accomplishment while instilling in them self-esteem, teamwork, and self-discipline. Its focus is reflected in its mission statement, to motivate young people to be better citizens. It prepares high school students for responsible leadership roles while making them aware of their rights, responsibilities, and privileges as American citizens. The program is a stimulus for promoting graduation from high school, and it provides instruction and rewarding opportunities that will benefit the student, community, and the nation. Our Lorain Veteran Council is acknowledging the efforts of a cadet that has overcome personal challenges and difficulties and has excelled in the program. I would like to invite Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Josie Leahy to join me and receive the Mission Ready Award. The award reads, Lorain Veterans Council for Civic Improvement Mission Ready Award in recognition of your exceptional efforts as part of the Lorain High School Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, your devoted patriotism, commitment to meeting the JROTC mission to motivate young people to be better citizens, and willingness to respond regardless of challenges and adversity is acknowledged and genuinely appreciated. This acknowledgement is given under the leadership of President Tim Carrion in grateful appreciation to Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Josie Leahy. Congratulations.
Veterans Day, formerly known as Armistice Day, was originally set as a U.S. legal holiday to honor the end of World War I, which officially took place on November 11, 1918. In legislation that was passed in 1938, November 11th was dedicated to the cause of world peace and to be hereafter celebrated and known as Armistice Day. As such, this new legal holiday honored World War I veterans in 1954 after having been through both World War II and the Korean War. The 83rd U.S. Congress, at the urging of the veteran service organizations, amended the Act of 1938 by striking out the word armistice and inserting the word veterans, with the approval of this legislation on June 1st, 1954. November 11th became a day to honor American veterans of all wars. In 1968, the Uniforms Holiday Bill ensured 3-day weekends for federal employees by celebrating 4 national holidays on Mondays: Washington's birthday, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Columbus Day. Under this bill, Veterans Day was moved to the 4th Monday of October. Many states did not agree with this decision and continued to celebrate the holiday on its original date. The first Veterans Day under new law was observed with much confusion on October 25th, 1971. Finally, on September 20th, 1975, President Gerald R. Ford signed a law which returned the annual observance of Veterans Day to its original date of November 11th, beginning the 1978. Since then, the Veterans Day holiday has been observed on November 11th. Ladies and gentlemen, the Titan Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Josie Leahy, giving a speech about the meaning of today and the final roll call.
Good morning, Lorain, and welcome veterans, distinguished guests, students, and staff. It is our pleasure to hold this ceremony in recognition of Veterans Day and for all of you to be a part of it. Some may see this ceremony as a social hour or even an excuse to get out of class, but for the majority of us, it is to pay tribute and honor the countless men and women who have served our beloved country. You see, Veterans Day is not simply about the big sales and discounted prices. It is to show the country that we live in is free because of the people who have served it. It is free because men and women who have signed the blank check up to and including their lives for the defense of the American dream and the American way of life. We have come to recognize all of the branches of service. Veterans, please stand to be recognized when I call your branch of service. The Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, and all of those brave lives who have served, are serving, or will serve. These special people have shaped America. They have ensured that we are the home of the free because of the brave. However, these in our presence today are the fortunate ones. They are survivors. They were among those who were given the chance to come home to their family and friends. Today is not only a day to pay respect to the brave souls who have served for us, but to pay tribute to the ones who could not be here with us. From Lorain, we have given up our own soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen who have left the great halls of our beloved high schools to never return again. However, none of them knew that they would eventually give up their lives so that we, today, could sit here and honor their memories. They were just like the rest of us. They would stay up late cramming for the big test they had the next day. They would curse the names of the teachers who gave them pop quizzes because they hadn't been paying attention the next day. They walked the same path as you do now, because at one point in time, they were exactly like us. It is to be known that the little time we have here with each other is short, maybe shorter than some would prefer. Not a single one of them, of the many throughout when they woke up from the last time that the breakfast they ate was going to be their last, but throughout it all, the reaction when the news is sent home will always be the same. Tears will fall from the family's faces. Shock will run through the veins of all the best friends, good time buddies, and common acquaintances. Guilt will rack up the people who never got a chance to say what they wanted to say. It won't be me that is probably running through your mind right now, at this moment. Do you think that those fallen from Lorain and the countless others from across the nation didn't think the same thing? They answered the call when their country needed them. That is what links the individuals sitting in front of us and the countless who could not be here. These men and women woke up one morning fully aware that it could possibly be their last, but not necessarily believing it. Just like here in Lorain, the military is full of traditions to commemorate fallen heroes. In the gesture of honoring what so many have given for us, the Titan Battalion will be conducting a representation of the final roll call. Each cadet will have his or her name called by the command sergeant major, and they will answer with, "Here, Sergeant Major." After their names have been called, we will move on to the following Lorain graduates who were consumed by the blazes of war. Their names will be called 3 times. Sadly, there will be no answer. Before our ceremony, I would like to share a poem entitled The Final Roll Call. We thought of you with love today. That is nothing new. We thought of you yesterday and days before that too. We think of you in silence and often speak your name. Now all we have are memories and your picture in a frame. Your memory is our keepsake with which we'll never part. God had you in his keeping. We have you in our heart.
Sergeant Major, call the roll.
Battalion, attention. Cadet First Sergeant Angulo.
Here, Sergeant Major.
Cadet Staff Sergeant Gannon.
Here, Sergeant Major.
Cadet Captain Santiago.
Here, Sergeant Major.
Airman First Class Eric Barnes. Airman First Class Eric Barnes. Airman First Class Eric Barnes. Sergeant Bruce Horner. Sergeant Bruce Horner. Sergeant Bruce Horner. Lance Corporal David Hall. Lance Corporal David Hall. Lance Corporal David Hall.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Breathe and out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the benediction and retiring of the colors.
Battalion, attention.
Please bow your heads and remove your covers. God, as we close this ceremony, help us to feel the gratitude of a nation to which has been given much, and from whom much will be expected in the world. Give our veterans in active duty military and their families the courage of their convictions to continue to serve, survive, and thrive through their challenges. When we walk through our lives, help us to see friendship in the faces of all veterans and in each other. Father, to you we lift our hearts in gratitude for all here who fought and have lived since so valiantly and selflessly. Thank you for those who died bravely for truth, liberty, and justice. Thank you, too, for their families, to whom they bequeath the heritage of honor and courage. Help us to guard carefully the gifts which their loyalty and devotion passed on to us. May we be true as they were true and are true. May we be loyal, selfless, and faithful to our country as they were and are to this day. Now may your blessings be upon these precious individuals and their families. May they go from here in your favor, even as they will always enjoy the favor of their country and their countrymen. May you bless their military descendants, those Americans who serve on the front line of freedom even now. And may you bless this grand nation for which these heroes have given so much. May you keep America worthy of their devotion and sacrifice, and ever in your light. Amen.
Amen.
Sergeant Major, retire the colors.
Battalion, attention. Color guard, retire the colors. Battalion, present arms.
Color guard, open. Retire. Color. Forward. Arm.
Battalion, order arms. Battalion, take seats.
Before we conclude today's ceremony, on behalf of all of the cadets of the Titan Battalion, I would like to extend the deepest gratitude not only to the veterans present here today, but everyone who supported the Titan Battalion to make this a day to remember. Lorain High School's Executive Director, Ms. Ray Bastock. Lorain High School's Wind Ensemble, directed by Mr. Timothy Civic. Lorain High School's Theater Director, Mrs. Wendy Hall. The Lorain Lighthouse Grill Culinary Team, led by Mrs. Dolhausen. We would now ask all veterans in attendance to make your way out to the lobby to be escorted to the Lighthouse Grill.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.